If you act like you know everything, you're gonna get eaten alive.
Humbled quickly.
Especially, you step up into a leadership position, do you know everything?
No.
You're gonna get humbled, and not only that, but your troops are gonna look at you and say, why are you, who do you think we are? Do you think we're stupid? Their respect for you goes down. There was a blue on blue, a fratricide, meaning friendly forces killing friendly forces. And that happened. They got basically attacked by a friendly Iraqi element. And
Your guys did?
Yes,
Wow.
got into a gunfight with them. It was a nightmare. So, yeah, and I was in charge. When that unfolded, it's like, oh, guess whose fault this is? It's my fault.
Wow.
You want to talk about humbling? That's humbling.
How do you transition back into a confident place?
Number one, take ownership. Take extreme ownership of it. If that would have happened and I would have said, hey guys, that was my fault, it was his fault and his fault and his fault, people would have looked at me, they know the truth. The truth is I'm the guy in charge. So everyone's respect level for me would have gone down. The problems never get solved, we never progress. And their confidence in me would have gone down. But when I go in and say, hey guys, look, this is what went wrong. This is my fault because I'm the guy in charge, and this is what we're gonna do to fix it. Their confidence and their respect for me goes up and we can move forward. And what leadership to me, it boils down to understanding human nature. The place where human nature gets revealed most clearly is in chaotic situations. Whether it's war, whether it's a concentration camp, whether it's a prison camp, whatever that is, that's when you start to see how people react.
Survival situation.
Yes. The thing that's driving you in a corporate setting often is your ego. Which, by the way, is the same thing that drives a lot of things that unfold, the same things that unfold in a combat scenario. Yeah. It's like, oh, your ego's involved. Hey, I think we should do this plan this way. And you think you should do it, you think we should do it a different way. My plan's better. You think your plan's better. We bang heads. Like, that's bad. That happens in war, and it happens in the corporate society as well. Egos drives all kinds of decisions that you make. Bad decisions. It drives some good decisions too, right? I mean, it does. You're ignorant not to admit that, you know? Like, I like to win at things, right? Cool, what's driving that? It's 100% ego. Now, if it goes overboard and you start making decisions so that you can win, but you're stepping on the backs of other people, that means you've let your ego get out of control, and now you're making mistakes, and that's gonna end up in your downfall eventually. You might get pretty far allowing your ego to smash other people and abuse other people. You might get pretty far, but eventually it's gonna come back on you. I guarantee it's gonna come back on you. If you want to open yourself up for a massive downfall, just let your ego get out of control. Go forward with an open mind, with a humble mind. That's what you have to do as a leader. Can you take too much ownership?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Really?
Yes, you can.
But I thought you said you need to take ownership of everything.
Two different things. Listen to this. Okay. If you're working for me and I say, okay, here's the mission that I want you to accomplish tonight. Here's the people I want you to take. Here's the weapons I want you to bring. Here's the vehicles I want you to bring. Here's the route I want you to use to get to the target. Here's the method I want you to use to secure the target. Here's the route I want you to do to get back. Yeah. So that's the plan. Now you take ownership and go execute. Now, can you really take ownership of that plan?
If someone else gave you the whole thing?
I mean, I gave you the whole thing, right? Is that your plan?
No.
No, it's
your plan, yeah.
It's my plan. So what I need to do is I say, hey, here's the plan, or here's the mission. How do you want to do it? And now when you hit an obstacle in the field, what's your attitude?
I need to adapt, I need to adjust.
It's your plan, you'll make it
We came up with this,
Yes. So can you take too much ownership? The answer is yes, you can. With just about every, you can name a trait, right? You can name a trait from a leadership perspective that you think is a positive trait, and you'll immediately see that if you go too far with it, it'll become bad. You can't be extreme in one direction or the other. If you're in a leadership position, you can't talk all the time, right? Obviously, as a boss, you need to communicate, you need to talk to your people. But if you talk too much, guess what happens? People stop listening to you. You're putting out too much information. They don't know what's important and what's not. So that's bad. You can't go too far in that direction. The other direction is you can't not talk enough, and now no one knows what's going on, no one knows what's happening. So you have to be balanced, and that's the whole idea of the dichotomy of leadership. The question is, can you be too aggressive?
Yes.
Absolutely. You can, hey, there's a machine gun nest over there. Let's attack it. So you charge up the hill and everyone dies. If I'm trying to force my plan down my team's throat, the more resistance I'm going to get from it. Whereas if I plant the seed and I allow that plan to grow with them, the better it's going to be received. So what you have to do is you have to be balanced. There was plenty of missions that I went on where I was the ground force commander in charge of 30 or 40 SEALs or 100 SEALs and Iraqi soldiers combined together. Plenty of operations like that. You know how many people I talked to? I would talk to 3.
Right.
But the bigger you get, the more you have to rely on those subordinate leaders to spread the word, to understand what the mission is, to understand what the end state is, to understand why they're doing what they're doing. Number one, you have to make sure that your message is simple, clear, and concise, right? You gotta communicate in a way that even that frontline trooper can understand what you're talking about. There's companies where I'll go into the CEO and we'll be talking, I'll say, so how well does everyone understand what your mission is here? And he'll say, oh, absolutely. I'll go to a frontline person and say, what's the mission of this company?
No clue.
They have no idea. If you're a frontline troop and you don't understand what the mission is, you can make bad decisions on the front line. So there are certain companies at certain stages where the most important thing they can do is be cost effective, save money, right? And that's, if a frontline troop needs to make a decision about, hey, should I redo this thing right now, which is going to cost us a little bit more money, or should I just let it go with a little bit lower standard? Well, if what you're focused on is saving money, that guy says, okay, you know what, I'm going to let this go even though the standard is a little bit lower. That's a decision that can get made. I don't want to fail at things. Yeah. If there's people out there that could use the lessons that I've learned and I haven't gotten it to them, to me, that's a failure.
Yeah.
What is preventing most people from moving in the direction that they want to move is a lack of discipline. You know, I don't spend a lot of time with regret. That's good. You know, because there's not much that you can do about it. No, it's happened. Yeah. So the way I look at regret is, what did I learn from it? I'm trying to take the lessons that I was lucky enough to learn and get them to as many people as I can so they don't have to suffer through the same mistakes that I made. I worry about missing out on opportunities that I have because I got friends that will never get the chance to execute on opportunities because they didn't come home. And so for me to squander any moment, any second of my life, my life is a gift, your life is a gift. I know that for a fact. And for me to squander that is something that definitely haunts me. It haunts me every day, and I won't let it happen.
Yeah.
The real things that I'm trying to do, that I have the opportunity to do, I'm going to do them to the best of my ability. My definition, what is my definition
of greatness?
Of greatness is to help out other people.
When you're the only person that something has happened to, that's really not good, right? Because it alienates you even from yourself. You have no idea what to do with that. And so that's sometimes why people find it such a relief to have their illness diagnosed. It's like, oh, this is known. there's a category. Other people have had this experience. Maybe there's a pathway through it. So just knowing that you're not the only person like that can be very helpful.